Hello everyone, welcome to this fun bookmark tutorial live video. And this is my practice sheet. I was figuring out how to do these. I've been wanting to do tulips, dot painting tulips for a long time, and I finally am doing it. It's so fun. So I have a special guest here with me today. It's not the cutest thing ever. Posy is her name. My niece Deshka crocheted her, and I received her in the mail just a few minutes ago. So she's sitting here watching me, and she is so cute. She's really soft and just cheering up my day. So let's get started. I just have two tools today. Just our green one and our blue one, the styluses. So we're going to be mixing some paint a little bit later. For now, we're going to start with color number 2. It's our red color. And I'm going to use the small end of the green stylus. And if you want to make bigger tulips, then you can use the large end of the green stylus. But I'm going to use the small end. And I'm going to make just the petals that are in the background of some of these first. And then I'm going to mix a little bit of paint. So if you have a paper, you can mix it on your paper you're working on, or you can just grab a piece of scratch paper or something to mix some paint on as we go along. So let's get started with that. So I'm going to make, I want them to be a little bit taller and shorter than each other, just to give a little variation. So we're going to be doing them basically just halfway, but a little bit up and a little bit down. So a little bit above halfway, some of them. So we're going to start out with just dipping our small end of our green stylus in the paint. And then I'm just going to make a couple, don't make them too long. You don't make them very long. I'm just going to make a couple little, and make them a little bit away from each other. And I'm sure they'll all turn out different. Mine won't look like my first one, I'm sure. And you can make like this. This is going to be just the back petal 2. So make some of them closer to each other, some of them higher up, some shorter. But don't make them very long, like I said. And then we're going to make a couple of just little teardrops, which are pointed on the top. So these are just the buds. And then let's go ahead and make one down here as well. And if it's maybe better to do this with the large end of the blue stylus, so that you can have more of a pointed top on it. It doesn't have to be completely pointed. Like that one's not completely pointed. And it can be a little bit off center. Doesn't have to be completely round. You know how like flowers are beautifully irregular. So, okay, so you can make however many you want. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the main ones, and then I made a couple of little buds just opening up. Okay, so while those are wet, then I want to I want to take some white and put it in my red. And so you can use this to do it and stir it up, or you can take these little boo boo sticks if you have those, or just one like a little, your small dowel, whatever you want. And I'm just going to take a little bit of white and add it just to my red here on the top. And you don't even have to really mix it in that good. And I'm still leaving a little bit of red in case I want more red later, but probably won't. I didn't. So I'm not making it very, just a little bit of white. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not making it a lot different, is what I'm trying to say. So just a tiny bit of white. And then you can adjust it. If it's too much white, then just put more red in, or mix it in more. But I just put a tiny bit of white, and then I'm gonna do the rest of my tulip. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to come down kind of on each side, and then just in the middle a little bit too, and make it, the tulip shape is a little bit square on the bottom. And of course these will look better when we get our greenery on them. So I'm putting, don't want to make them all the same either. That one needs a little adjusting. So what I'm doing is I'm just going over the red and even covering up some of those petals, and making 3 swooshes down. And if you just want to make 2, that's fine, or just like a tiny one in the middle. Okay. And you can kind of make a little thing off to the side if you want to. Some of them, the petals kind of go off to the side like that, just barely over there. This is one of those creative projects where it's not so exact as a lot of my classes. And as usual, just to trust the process, that when you get all the other stuff in, you're gonna, it's gonna be amazing. Actually, I might make these just a little bit bigger too. Okay, I made those a little bit small, but okay. And for this one, I'm just going to put a little bit of the color on top as well, and try to leave some of that red in the back. This one I'm going to just leave red. Okay. So then we will do our yellow ones, and I'm going to leave my red open because I'm going to use it a little bit in these yellow ones. So I think I'm going to just put some on my paper and mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to take my dowel here. You can use whatever you have there, and put a little bit of the cadmium yellow, the darker yellow, on my paper. Or if you just want to use your bottle and squirt some on there, that's probably easier too, actually. And then I just want a little bit of the red. I don't want much of the red, and I'm just going to put it like beside it here, because we're going for mostly yellow. And then I'm just going to mix it up kind of just a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm going to put some, I'm going to do a little bud here. And I want it, what I'm going for, the look of just being kind of swirled around. So I'm going to put one swish down and then just some swishes around. And if you want to just dip it in your yellow too, and if you just want a yellow one in the background, that's also good. Okay. And then put one over here. What I did too, you can just do a little bit of red and put it in your yellow, and just don't get it all mixed up completely. A little bud here and there. Like I said, trust the process, because right now it doesn't look too exciting, but get all the green in and other colors and it'll be so beautiful. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the stems and the greenery. So I'm going to use the small end of my green stylus again. And I'm going to dip about 1/4 of an inch into the paint. And we're going to make some swooshes up and then swooshes down. I'm going to meet them here. So I'll show you that again. And tulip tulip leaves kind of have a tendency to fall over sometimes, and some of them are shorter. So I'm just making a swoosh up and sometimes making a bend on it. And it's kind of, some of them I'm starting at the bottom, and I'm starting not completely at the very bottom of the bookmark, but you can. But I started just a little ways up, maybe 1/2 an inch up, not quite 1/2 an inch maybe. And then I'm just, yeah, doing some just straight up from the bottom. And leave room for some other of the purple flowers and stuff too. So you don't have to just get thick and leave space. Space is always good. So then when I do this and there's smaller at the bottom, then I bring one up beside it kind of to make it look right. Just making a bunch of swooshes. And you can overlap some of them too if you want. And then what we're going to do is put stems in with the large end of the blue stylus. So those are the leaves, and then we're going to just put some swooshes down here and there. We can put more leaves in later. So I'm starting at the bud or the blossom, and just kind of just a small swoosh down. These ones I'll put some more leaves there, I think. And I'm not touching it. I'm just putting it as if it's, yeah, like that. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just putting it here and there. You don't even have to have one on all of them, but I guess I did on most of them. And then I'll go back where it feels like it needs some leaves, put them in there. But I think that's good because like I said, we're going to be putting some purple flowers in there. This is so cheerful. What's not cheerful about spring flowers, right? Okay. And this is something where less is better, and then go back and add more if you feel like it needs it. So let's go ahead and do some of the purple flowers and fill it in a little bit. So I'm going to use the large end of my blue stylus. And can just walk the dots out. So dip and then dot, 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 dot. Make it a little bit pointed on top. We'll come back with a lighter color just to highlight some of it. And some of it you can just put like a few dots here and there too. You don't have to put like a whole big flower, just like as if it's peeking through. Like here, I'll just put that to make it look like it's just in the background, but peeking through the back. You can overlap in some areas. And it'll look better when we get our highlight colors. Okay, cool. And then you can either just put a drop of the white in the purple from your bottle, or just take some over and add some that way. Or put it on your paper. So many options. So then we have our lighter, and if you want to just, that's too white. I feel like I didn't get enough white. And you don't even have to mix it in real good. Okay, that's better. And I'm just doing it just on kind of one side and towards the top. So I'm kind of going the right side, like the sun is coming from here, and so I'm just doing a few like that. That's pretty. If I do say so myself. Okay, and now we're going to put just a few yellow spots here and there. Just want a few on this side, and then maybe a few right here. I don't want to overdo it. I just want to have just a little yellow down below. So just some walking dots of yellow here and there. And less is better, because you can always go back and add more. Okay, and then we're going to do our butterfly. And let's practice on a piece of paper first, or you can just go right ahead and dive right in. But I think it would be good to just practice a tiny bit here. Okay, so you can either use the small end of your green stylus or the large end of your blue. It depends on how big you want your butterfly to be. And I'm just going to put a dot on the paper and then make a triangle this side. And make the top triangle bigger than the bottom, kind of like, so it looks like you're and it doesn't, of course, doesn't have to be perfect, because butterflies, you see them in all different kinds of angles. So it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly symmetrical, because it's flying, right? And you're probably not going to be just seeing it straight on. Okay. Okay. And then I also did one from the side, and that for that one I think I did use the small end, and I just did like a little triangle like that, and then a bottom, little swoosh. Actually, should bring it out just a little bit like that. And then I'm going to use the small end and just bring a tiny swoosh down here like that to make it look like it's the back wing. And then I'm going to use purple, the darker purple. You can use blue. I use blue here, but I'm going to use purple right here for this one. And I'm just doing a little swoosh of the purple for its body like that. And we'll put a little body on this one, and we'll put in a couple little antenna like that. So there's two tiny little swooshes from outside in, out in. So I'll do it again now on the on our bookmark, and you can watch again. So I'm using the small end of my green stylus. Be careful not to get your finger in your wet paint here. And I want the top to be bigger. I mean, not bigger, but go further out than the bottom. So triangles, kind of triangles. And then for the wings down, I mean the lower wing, just kind of a little swoosh. And then actually can do it with either the smaller tool I mentioned, the large end of the blue, which is smaller, or I think I'll use the small end of the green for that wing, and then do a little swoosh here with the large end of the blue, and then the small end of the blue, I'll make that back wing come in just down like that. And then I'm going to use the green to do the body going like that. Just a swoosh that's kind of going angled a little bit. And then the body like this for this one. And then I'm going to dip in my small end in the paint and then dot, and then do the little swoosh. I'm just dotting it on the paper just to get some paint off, because I want those to be little small swooshes. I'm not even meeting up with the body. I'm just making two little tiny swooshes up here for the antenna. So there you have the butterflies. And I think that's it. What a fun class. I mean, who wouldn't want to get a bookmark like this, right? I think everybody would. What a fun thing to keep or give away to your besties. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I loved creating it and loved teaching it. And it's just something that's simple. You can do and it doesn't take much time. And I just think it's so cheerful. So thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to our next project together. Have a wonderful rest of your day.